I was like, well, Howie has an iconic favorite. Austin has an iconic favorite. I don't really have an iconic favorite until I started making my list. And we're going to, we're covering our favorites, and then we're going to go through and kind of talk about these and then others as well. But I feel that it only makes sense for me to say that Clerks is my favorite trilogy. Now, the question is, though, now, Howie, I know you've seen it, but Austin, have you seen Clerks? Or Clerks 2
Yeah.
or Clerks 3?
Mhm.
So, the reason why I have to say Clerks that makes it so funny is, there's a big debate in Clerks 2 about Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. And Randall and Elias are having this debate over what's the best trilogy. And Randall is like, the fact of the matter is, there's only one return, and it's not of the king, it's of the Jedi. All right, welcome back. Episode 37 this week, July 14th. We got a good one planned for you. The most important reason it's a good one, though, is that we have a guest. We have a trio.
We do.
We have a trio this week.
And what better episode to have a trio than the 3 perfect chapters?
Right? That's our story mode today. 3 perfect chapters talking about movie trilogies, and we have a trio episode. I didn't even realize that until you just said that.
That's so. Of course, the one with us is the anime king himself, as he would like to think he is. Go ahead, Scott.
Hello, hello, hello.
3 hellos. So all thing threes today. So yeah, speaking of Anime King, I noticed that shirt you have on. You did make that shirt because I see your logo on the sleeve. I have not seen that before. He's got so folks obviously can't see us, but he is rocking a Wing Gundam shirt that he made himself, which is absolutely amazing looking. Minus the fact it's a white shirt. I don't like wearing white shirts, but
hey, white shirts.
Yeah,
I'm always going to get something on it.
I know. That's the only reason I've never asked him to make me one. Is because I just don't like white shirts.
I can do other colors.
No, I know. But our story mode today is 3 perfect chapters, and specifically we're going to be talking all things movie trilogy related. Now, keep in mind we're really trying to focus on just trilogies, not movies that have 8, 9, 10, 5, 6, 7. Really trying to focus just on trilogies.
There's literally, I think there's only one movie we'll talk about that has trilogies, but it's because it's 3 separate trilogies.
Right. That one's kind of a weird exception. Yeah.
I was going to say it's like Jaws.
Well, even
for an example.
Well, even Lord of the Rings. Technically, you talk about there's 2 Lord of the Rings trilogies. You have the original, and then you have the Hobbit.
Right. So, but we'll be going through talking about movie trilogies, memories with that, how iconic they are. We are going to have our side quests today. We've got 2 side quests. We've got Now Loading, which is our kind of game segment, which, I did so good. I had such a good stretch of these games. And then, a couple weeks ago, we did the word guessing thing, and I jacked it all up again. But fortunately, this one's pretty straightforward. We're doing keep 3, cut 3 of movie trilogies. And then we are going to do patch notes. Patch notes, we circle back to every handful of episodes just to talk about what is coming up.
I think this is the first patch notes we've ever done that it wasn't just you and I.
That's true. That is true. Usually it's a duo when we have patch notes. So Howie is along for the ride for us to talk through those with some of our upcoming episodes. We'll save it for the end, but we do have a surprise for our next episode. But we'll get to that during our save point. Also, anything I missed for press start?
No, I think we're good. Let's go ahead and roll into our story mode.
Yep, let's jump into 3 perfect chapters. All right, well, when it comes to trilogies, I think there is a very obvious place to start. And there are no 2 better people to start with those trilogies than you 2. So, Howie, I know it is your top and your favorite. What is your favorite trilogy of all time?
Lord of the Rings.
Makes sense. 100%. So you've got, so Fellowship of the Ring is the first one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that came out, and I think the thing that I love about these is that the way they filmed them
I
is
like the way they did this
they
because
they
that's what they're doing with Avatar now.
yeah, they filmed them all together, and then they literally released them. So Fellowship was the first one in 2001, and then is it the Two Towers, right?
Two Towers and then Return of the King.
Yeah. So it was 2001, 2002, 2003. They shot them all simultaneously. I just now realized this. 2001, Austin, where were you, like 6 when this came out?
7.
7 years old when Lord of the Rings came out. Well, that's
Well, it depends on like when it came out. Like, did it come
yeah,
out
yeah,
in
yeah.
like
What month it came out and everything like
yeah,
that.
6 or 7? But I mean, the one that I'm going to talk about the most came out before I was born. So
Fair assessment. Fair assessment. And so, and we'll come back to Lord of the Rings, but Austin, what is because these are arguably the two most iconic trilogies. What is your favorite trilogy of all time?
mine's Star Wars.
Now, that's the one exception that Austin kind of mentioned in the beginning when I said we were looking
Well,
at
2 if you talk about Lord of the Rings as well, because
yeah,
the Hobbit.
because Star Wars has technically 3 trilogies, technically 9 movies. Which one is your favorite?
Mine is the original trilogy, but I think that's pretty standard for everybody. Now, I don't. There are movies in the other trilogy that I really liked, like if that makes sense. Like Revenge of the Sith is fantastic. Phantom Menace is good. Force Awakens was good. Like, I thought Force Awakens was fine, even though everybody hated on the trilogy itself. I didn't mind the Force Awakens movie.
So, and then look, when I was making this list of trilogies, I was like, well, Howie has an iconic favorite. Austin has an iconic favorite. I don't really have an iconic favorite until I started making my list. And we're going to, we're covering our favorites, and then we're going to go through and kind of talk about these and then others as well. But I feel that it only makes sense for me to say that Clerks is my favorite trilogy. Now, the question is, though, now, Howie, I know you've seen it, but Austin, have you seen Clerks? Or Clerks 2
Yeah.
or Clerks 3?
Mhm.
So, the reason why I have to say Clerks that makes it so funny is, there's a big debate in Clerks 2 about Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. And Randall and Elias are having this debate over what's the best trilogy. And Randall is like, the fact of the matter is there's only one return, and it's not of the king, it's of the Jedi. And, and then he does his goofy comparison of Lord of the Rings, like, this is the first movie, and it just shows him walking. It's like, this is the second movie, and he's walking, and he steps to the side, and then this is the third, and he walks, and he drops, he's dropping a ring and throws his hands up. So I feel like Clerks as a trilogy is the perfect counterbalance to you all. But so back to Lord of the Rings. So Howie, did you see Lord of the Rings like when it came out? Because you were probably like 10, right? 10?
I did
10?
not see it in theaters, so my exposure to Lord of the Rings was Christmas morning. PlayStation had just released the PS1. I woke up, went in the living room, and underneath the tree there was a PlayStation 1 with Tekken and the very first miniaturized portable DVD player with the Lord of the Rings play menu on the front, and I sat there entire Christmas Day watching the entire Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring movie.
Like you talking about the
on a portable DVD player
with the little screen that flipped up and everything.
Yeah, it looked like a little mini laptop kind of thing. Yeah, like I probably sat there for days in the living room floor watching the DVD of Lord of the Rings just in the living room.
And I mean, that's the thing. Like I remember, like, I feel like my experience with Lord of the Rings was similar to my experience with Game of Thrones, in that I watched the first movie and like I enjoyed it. Like, it was fine, but I did not see the Two Towers or the Return of the King when they came out. Like, I went and saw Fellowship in theaters with a buddy of mine named Daniel at the time, and I think I maybe even fell asleep during it because those are long ass movies, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't see the Two Towers or Return of the King probably for like 10 years, and then I finally went through and watched all of them. And they still, and I did a rewatch here recently, and I know Austin I think you said you had put it on in the background at some point in
Yeah,
time.
I was watching the uncut versions of the 14 hours or 15 hours, whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
the
first
extended
movies I
edition.
ever watched where you actually had to switch the discs out to continue the movie.
Oh man, they were
3 hours
Yeah, before
after.
massive.
that, is Titanic the only VHS that did that? Because didn't Titanic have multiple?
Yeah,
I don't think it did. I'm pretty sure
No,
Titanic was all
it did.
one.
no, it
I
was
No, it
thought.
had multiple VHS tapes.
yeah, it was one
Oh,
disc, but
okay.
it was one disc when it came out on DVD. But VHS, it was
Okay.
2 VHS tapes. The only reason I remember that is that there's a very specific scene in that movie that was toward the end of the first tape, and I used to get in trouble for not having it rewinded. When I was a kid, for the record.
Did it? Was someone being an artiste?
Yes, yes, yes.
Just a painter,
Right,
Just like a
of course.
nowadays
Yeah.
Picasso.
It's just
Exactly.
crazy the stuff you can remember because I remember when you'd have to switch out the discs. It was right after they got out of the mines of Moria is when you had to interchange the disc,
Yeah,
and that was like 3 hours in.
yeah. And Lord of the Rings. I mean, obviously, Return of the King. I think still holds the record for like the most Oscars won. Like it is still like world renowned as being like a perfect movie. They still hold up insanely well. You know, they filmed on location in New Zealand.
They still look like I said. I watched it. That was like 3 weeks ago. I didn't watch all the way through it. I think I only got like an hour and a half before I had to stop. But it still looks pretty good. Like fight scenes are nice. Like
Oh yeah, well, and that's the thing because they didn't really have to lean on so many special effects or anything. You know, because that's, I mean, and I guess they are. I guess they're doing another one. You know, we'll talk about the other one here later with the Hobbit, but I guess they're doing a new Lord of the Rings, the Hunt for Gollum or something, and they've got Andy Serkis, you know, as Gollum.
is it a new trilogy?
I don't know.
It's not. I don't think it's going to be a trilogy. I need to look more into it, but I'm pretty sure it's just kind of the story of Gollum.
Yeah, well, it's
That would be cool. I could see that being a trilogy though.
and that's the thing. I don't
Yeah.
know because obviously Lord of the Rings is based on books by Tolkien and all of that. I don't know if this story that's coming is also in a book or if they are just taking and making a story out of it. But I feel like obviously Lord of the Rings is amazing, but I feel like it's had this resurgence over the last few years with the way people get into fandoms and things like that. Like it just seems to you know, and my God, I think they've re-released it on DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, and they've got all these different collections. They've got the extended with extra special features. I mean, the amount of re-releases, like you know, it makes sense that Lord of the Rings is a fantasy genre and it's been released 30 times. Like Skyrim, the game, has been released 30 times. You know, it blows my mind. Now,
Kind of just like the books themselves. Like they get a different binding, different pages, and they just re-release the book.
hey, we've talked about books and how I don't read, but if they got pictures, I do okay. I guess there's like a huge, thick Lord of the Rings book that has a bunch of pictures in it.
Yeah.
Kind of like a comic book, yeah.
Yeah, I would totally read
So-
that, like 100%. But no, Lord of the Rings obviously the most iconic, or one of the most iconic. Sorry, Austin. Probably.
I think if you ask anybody about the best trilogy of all time, I think their answer is going to be probably it's either one of the Star Wars trilogies or Lord of the Rings. Like,
Yeah. Now, and you're not wrong. I will say I'm surprised that you said the original trilogy, not because it's not a hot take, but I know that because the original, so New Hope was in 1977. For the record, all of these were before I was born. Before you drop an old joke in here, Empire was 88, and then Return was 83. But most people that like, I will say, like,
you just messed that up. Do that again.
77 New Hope,
80.
80 Empire.
You said 88.
No, Empire 80, and then Return 83.
I understand, but it's just a second ago. You said 88.
Oh, it's probably because
I think it's 'cause you were trying to say
said
that's when you were
80 and then
born.
83 at the same time.
Yeah, so
But most people like they grew up because you could argue that you grew up.
well, I think that's what like even though I grew up with the prequel, right? because I mean it came out. I was 5 when Phantom Menace came out. Um, I like the prequel, but which is funny because I think I definitely watched the prequel and then went back and watched the original trilogy.
I was gonna ask which one you
Yeah,
experienced
I
first.
definitely because my parents weren't big into Star Wars. Like I remember we watched Phantom Menace together. I remember watching. I guess it would have probably been. I would have probably been 10 or 11 because it would have been because we had Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones both. Because I remember watching Phantom Menace and we started watching Attack of the Clones and I fell asleep because I mean 2002 I was only 8.
So you didn't see Phantom Menace in theaters?
I was 5, Chase.
Man, all right. So I'm making my own old joke now because Howie didn't watch Fellowship until he got it on DVD on a portable DVD player. And then you're watching Phantom Menace several years. I remember physically going to the theater to see both of these movies.
I was super young. Like going to the theater was like a treat.
Yeah.
Man.
I
Like
feel like
I felt like going to
you
Tinseltown from
remember
where I lived on South Park
Oh, because
was like a trip.
Yeah, the closest theater to you would have been Stony Brook or Tinseltown because Preston wasn't there yet.
And Tinseltown was like where we went. Yeah.
Yeah, well, there was Bardstown Road, which is where I saw both of these, Lord of the Rings and the Phantom Menace. But I just realized, like, here I am trying to prevent you from making an old joke, and I'm making an old joke on myself. Like,
You made it on yourself.
yeah, I didn't even have to do it.
I remember seeing those in theaters. Da 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 da.
So, but I remember. So I remember one. Like I said, that night we got them, and I remember getting like halfway through Attack of the Clones because it was like 10 o'clock, and at 8 o'clock or at 8 years old, 10 or 11 o'clock's kind of late, especially because I'm in school, so I'm getting up early every morning. We used to get up at 6 o'clock every morning for my mom to take us wherever we had to go in the mornings. You know, so 10 o'clock on a Friday night that's late for us. Like,
right.
you know. Like Scott, you remember when we used to try to stay up all night and we would only make it to like 1 o'clock in the morning and be like,
Oh, dude, I wouldn't
do
even
it no
remember
more.
going to sleep. I'd just be there and then be waking up where I was sitting.
exactly. So I like, but now obviously all of the new ones I saw in theaters, like the
Yeah,
newest
as
trilogy.
you got older, like my uncle
Now,
never
we
really
even went-
took me to
well-
do movies or anything, but man, I still to this day remember my uncle was into Lord of the Rings. He liked it. I guess my parents, I mean, they liked them, but it wasn't like their shtick. My uncle took me to see Return of the King. Like I remember it to this day at Tinseltown.
So I remember. Now I didn't watch these in theaters originally. No. However,
You didn't see any of them? 1, 2, or 3?
you're talking about the prequel trilogy?
Yeah, you didn't see any of the
Yeah,
prequel
no.
trilogy?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Again, if you think about it, I lived out by Scott.
There wasn't a theater.
Same
yeah.
aspect. But
Well,
what I was getting at is
I don't.
I have, since me and my wife have been together, if these are re-releasing in theaters, I've watched Phantom Menace in theaters. I've watched Attack of the Clones. Attack of the Clones is her favorite because of the whole love story.
The
with Padme.
romance with Natalie Portman and Hayden Christensen.
Yeah. Yep. So,
Well,
and that-
Austin, I don't know because like you say you lived out by me, but are you talking about like where my parents are now?
Yeah, that
'Cause
would have
those
been
movies would
around.
have came out, I think, when I was on South Park.
No, because you would have been 2005. You'd have been in high school because you graduated in 09.
Yeah,
So 2005, you
I
should
mean,
have been.
I guess, yeah, because
And you went there
up there when I was in middle school.
Yeah, so you went there. You're all 4 years. So
I
that
just
should
feel
have been
like I could have
about.
swore those movies were when I was on South Park because I went to see those movies in theaters.
No, 2005. You should have been where you're at, where your parents are now.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out when that theater on Preston opened, but Google is way wrong.
It would have been close to around this time.
Yeah, it because it popped up and said 96. I'm like, that ain't true at all.
No, that's not right.
No, it would have been 2005.
Because the first time I remember going to it really was when we watched. We went and watched. It was when y'all worked at Dairy Queen, and it hadn't been open but a couple years, and we would go over there. Me, you, and Wayne would.
That
Yeah,
was
well, we were super into going and watching movies back then.
Yeah, that was the theater. That's the theater that I used to sneak into all the time. And then I'd sneak into that theater all the time. I would also sneak White Castle into that theater all the time. And I also
Uh,
got jumped twice at that theater. I got jumped twice at that theater and once at Stony Brook. Something about movie theaters and violence did not bode well for me.
Probably because you're sneaking in there, mad you're getting to see a free movie.
Well, no, I didn't get
But
jumped. I
I
didn't
think
get jumped by
so.
an employee.
But
I wasn't talking
all
about
right,
the
so
employee.
what do you think? All right, so Chase, we haven't really talked about yours yet.
Oh no,
Um,
and we'll get to. The only reason I went ahead and brought Clerks up was because you all are talking Lord of the Rings and Star Wars.
well, no, I was talking about the
Oh, what I deem is my favorite trilogy.
yeah. So we'll get there in a second. But I like I said, I remember going and watching Force Awakens, Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker. I watched all three of those in theaters for sure.
And that makes
And
sense.
I've watched
2015, 2017, and 2019. Those
yeah, because I could take myself.
right.
So that was one. But these movies, like it's funny because as weird as this sounds, these I didn't get this into Star Wars until probably like around when I graduated high school.
I was gonna ask when you really got into it.
Yeah,
Since
Star Wars is
since
when
you
I
didn't-
really was like, okay, and I started going crazy with it. That was when mine was.
well,
So it would have been, and then I remember it was on a whim, and I was like, Wayne bought it for me. I'm pretty sure it was a Blu-ray of of all the original six, and I would sit in my room like when I was doing stuff and watch them.
Well, yeah, that's another one like Lord of the Rings that has had so many re-releases. I know there are Star Wars purists out there, and like they will not watch the original trilogy with the remasters and all that because they say it lost the secret sauce or whatever. I like for me, like I saw Phantom Menace in theaters. I do remember it, but I didn't go see Attack of the Clones or Revenge of the Sith. I didn't actively watch Star Wars until now. I did see like you. I did go see Force Awakens, Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker all in theaters. But I very much remember when I watched 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now I didn't watch them that way. I watched them 4, 5. Like everyone tells me 4, 5, and 6, then 1, 2, and 3. But when I showed up at GameStop in 2000, it would have been what was it 2009, right? Because it was when I walked into the store you all worked.
Yeah. Yeah, I
I
think it was
walked in
2009.
and I met Rob for the first time, and I said my name was Chase, and he was like, Chase, like Mace Windu, like Chase Windu. I was like, who the hell is Mace Windu? Like I hadn't seen Star Wars at that time. And so I got my nickname from Rob of Chase Windu, and of course it was like a week later. I went and bought the Blu-rays that you're talking about. Like I can visualize the case that you're talking about.
Yeah, there's Darth Vader on the front of it.
Yeah,
and
one
then-
has Yoda, I think.
Yep.
And yeah, I watched 4, 5, and 6, 1, 2, and 3. And I will say I enjoyed 1, 2, and 3 substantially more, but it's because 4, 5, and 6, even with the remasters, looked and felt so old. And it was old. Like 77, 80, 83. Sorry, Mom. But it's old, and it looks old and dated. So I enjoyed 1, 2, and 3. But I enjoyed I can't count 7, 8, 9. Like
Yeah.
you
I liked 7, and I feel like 8 is the one that everyone actually like said was good out of this trilogy. I didn't mind 7. There was things in it that I didn't love, but
yeah, I can't remember which one gets a bunch of discourse.
I remember it's the last one. It's
Rise
Rise
of
of Skywalker.
Skywalker. Okay.
Or no, wait. Maybe it was Last Jedi, because Last Jedi is the one where well, I mean, I get disappointed if you haven't seen it. It's been out long enough. Yeah, Finn, and they put Rose in it, and they kind of made a love affair.
Oh yeah.
And everybody was like, "There was no point of this. Why is this even here?" So everybody was mad about it because Finn was such a big character in Force Awakens, and then kind of took a big backseat in the second one, or in the 8th one. And everybody was mad about that. Like they were like, "Why is that?" And then they tried to do the love affair with Rose, and they were mad about that. So
Yeah, I know it. I see the discourse online all the time. Again, I'm somebody that kind of enjoys everything, so I enjoyed them. but I know in general, like people do not like it.
The
And
only time you get discourse is when it's like the super purists of
right,
like you can't change that.
exactly. And apparently, fun fact, I don't know if you saw this, Austin. I literally just saw it yesterday. I guess that new Ryan Gosling movie is apparently supposed to, so it's supposed to be a sequel to Rise of Skywalker, so it takes place after that. But apparently this is supposed to be the start of another trilogy post the Rise of
I
Skywalker.
knew that
So I'll be
because they were going to try to
curious.
make him into a trilogy movie.
Yeah. So, and I guess it's heavily rumored that Ryan Gosling's character is like uh, um, a Jesus, a descendant of Luke Skywalker or something. I don't know. I was just reading some stuff about it the other day.
Yeah,
Um,
I try not to get too far into it just because I don't want. Well, it's just like I mean, they do it with the shows too. Like, there's so many shows nowadays. There's a couple of the shows that like I I actually liked Skeleton Crew, and there was a lot of discourse about it, but I just think it was fun.
oh yeah.
So,
Um,
right, but now that we've talked about those, I think let's go into your favorite.
yeah. So me,
And you
I
just rewatched these.
I did. So I just did a rewatch of these. But it's Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. So, you have Batman Begins, came out in 2005. So, and I will say, this was like before I knew that Christopher Nolan was like legit. Like,
Yeah.
I was not like super attached to Christopher Nolan like I am now. And I mean, Batman Begins was great. The fact that it was really grounded and based in reality, made it outstanding. And then, of course, you have the absolute goat of the Dark Knight that came out in 2008, and which again we talked about Lord of the Rings, how they filmed all of it at one time, 2001, 2002, 2003. The Dark Knight trilogy, you had 2005 Batman Begins, 3 years later 2008 Dark Knight, and then 4 years later 2012 was Dark Knight Rises. But to me, that's a perfect trilogy. Like, absolutely perfect. And I mean, you've got some of everyone knows Batman. Um, of course, as a character, and people knock and criticize that they did the origin story and blah, blah, blah. But to me, like, it's not even about being a superhero movie. It's not even about, but to me, I mean, it kind of reinvented the superhero genre, I guess. And then, of
And
course, oh, yeah, go ahead. I was
I was
getting
just
ready to
saying, the
say,
Dark Knight. Yeah, I was just gonna say the Dark Knight had the best performance of probably any actor that I've ever seen.
dude, to this day, and I mean, R.I.P. Heath Ledger, but but the Dark Knight had the best villain, with Heath Ledger, but the Dark Knight Rises. Now I'm biased, obviously, because I love Hans Zimmer. Hans Zimmer scored all three of these movies, but the Dark Knight Rises has like one of the best scores of those three movies. And I
Oh,
mean,
which one did you? So is Dark Knight probably your favorite, and Dark Knight Rises has your best score of it?
yeah, if I have to, I feel like as much as I don't want to do what everyone else does, I kind of have to. The Dark of the three, the Dark Knight's the best one in my opinion. Then I would say the Dark Knight Rises, because I also liked in the Dark Knight Rises you got Catwoman, Anne Hathaway is Catwoman.
Yeah.
Bane was a great villain, but yeah, I mean, and I think we've talked about it before. In the spirit of the midnight release, movies used to have midnight releases, and midnight releases stopped in 2012. Now, I think when we brought this up very, very early in the podcast inception, no pun intended on the Nolan pun there, but I think I said Dark Knight, but it was corrected in the comments. It was a Dark Knight Rises that came out, and then there was that shooting at the theater in Aurora,
Yeah.
Colorado. That's what made midnight launches for movies go away.
So yeah, that's true. That is what stopped it. But what's
People are ruining it for everybody.
yeah, well, what got me about that is now instead of like movie. No, there's no midnight releases, but there's early releases for every movie, so you can technically watch them a day early, which is crazy to me.
Well, and that's something I still don't understand because they are still advertised as releasing on Fridays. Like, prime example, we've got Spider-Man coming at the end of this month, and it's advertised as coming out on the 31st.
And it's
it's advertising this week on Friday, the 17th for the Odyssey. But no, you can start getting showings on Thursday. So I don't get. I'm with you. I don't get.
I don't understand that because, but this is the thing, because it doesn't matter the time of day. That can happen at any time. I don't understand why they're just saying, "Oh well, if we don't have the movies at midnight, this can never happen." Because, like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because I mean, why don't they just have it? Why don't they just advertise the release date? So I don't know what the mechanism is there. I really don't. But yeah, like I said, I brought up Clerks at the beginning just because it made sense because of Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. But my top trilogy, without a doubt, and the fact that my mom had not seen these blew my mind. Like, as soon as she told me that, I was like, oh, we're doing a rewatch. Or rewatch for me. But what's messed up is I had just rewatched them myself because of playing Lego Batman. And I got the itch, so I rewatched them. And then literally a week later, rewatched them again because Mom hadn't seen them. So it was, absolutely insane. And with 2012 in mind, so The Dark Knight Rises came out in 2012, I actually realized as we were talking, I couldn't believe that I didn't have it on this list. We already brought it up, but back to Howie, because obviously Lord of the Rings is your jam, but also The Hobbit.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure we saw these in theaters. I'm fairly certain. Because the first Hobbit came out in 2012.
Yeah.
Because every time we'd leave the theater, you'd ask me about stuff about the movie
and the correlation to Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
So, I will say this, and I love, I wish more. I love this, but hate this because Avatar's doing the same structure. So where these movies are coming out, they're filming everything together and coming out a year apart. Avatar now is doing the same structure, and I really like the Avatar movies. Like I think all of them are fantastic.
Technically,
which they're not
a trilogy right now, but they got more coming.
But it's not an actual trilogy. That's why we're not talking about it on here.
Right.
But the cool thing about it is you're going to get the movies back to back to back, year after year. The bad thing about it is it's going to take forever because you're filming 3 movies at once.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I need to research about this Gollum thing, because if they're doing a trilogy, obviously it's going to be a while because they're going to do the same methodology of recording them all at once.
I mean, that's how they go. So, and I actually, like I said, I like it personally. Because I do and I don't. Like I said, it sucks because you're having to wait. Like, what was the Avatar releases were 10 years apart, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
And when the next one came out, but now you're getting them every year.
Yeah, Way of Water and Fire and Ash, they were like a year or maybe 2 apart.
They were a year.
A year, and then
a singular year. They
but
were
I
a year
don't
apart,
think,
and then
I don't think we're getting a new one this year. It's going to be next year that we're getting it. But I think
Fire and Ash came out in December, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
Well, that's
no, you know what? I think that is true because they said something was wrong with the CGI of.
Well, they can say whatever the hell they want. I know why they're not coming out this year. It's because of Doomsday and Dune hitting in November at the exact same time.
That's true too. Which actually, I didn't see that on here.
Oh, you're right. I didn't put Dune on here, and that is going to be a trilogy. This is the last.
Which that is one that I still need to see the second one, but.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Well, it's finding the time to sit down and watch it because it's a long movie.
Well, and apparently about Dune, apparently Dune released and all of that as a book before Star Wars, and I guess George Lucas has credited Dune essentially was before Star Wars.
An inspiration.
Yes, thank you. The word was fluttering away.
So, Scott, just out of curiosity, actual Lord of the Rings is your favorite trilogy, correct? Not The Hobbit.
Well, I'd put them both up there because, I mean,
But if you had to pick, is what I'm getting at. So if you had to pick, The Hobbit's
that's a
gonna have
hard
better
one.
CG and stuff because it's newer. Like,
Yeah,
like
but I loved
you-
the story of The Hobbit. Like it's a hard
if I
pick
had to pick, I
between the
would pick.
two.
I'm telling you, I would pick The Hobbit because I liked the story of The Hobbit as well. I thought The Hobbit
Yeah,
because The
and
Hobbit
that's
is
the
what
thing.
made Lord of the Rings like.
Because the people that only have seen the movies and not read the books, like the world is so much more expansive
And
that they
fun
could do
fact,
so many trilogies.
I remember Scott had all these books on his bookshelf. Whenever you walked in, right he had a bookshelf right by his closet. You remember which one I'm talking about, Chase?
Yeah, yeah,
The only
yeah.
ones that didn't. It was the only books that weren't manga.
Yeah, that was the
Exactly.
only books on there that weren't manga.
Well,
No, your other bookshelf, like when you walked around the corner that was on that back wall, that was your manga bookshelf. You had a bunch of these books on that bookshelf.
yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I will say, I will agree with saying kind of The Hobbit, but it's because of, for me, Lord of the Rings was very slow. Like the first movie was very, very slow. Return of the King is amazing, but I felt like The Hobbit kind of had that kind of nonstop. Plus
they had something every movie. They had something going.
yeah, and the fact that you had Benedict Cumberbatch as the dragon. What's the dragon?
Smaug.
Smaug. Like that was awesome. Like I was a big fan of that. Doctor Strange being a dragon. That's pretty cool.
So, but I think that I think that's something that I was just curious on. Like I wanted to see what Scott's, especially with him being liking Lord of the Rings so much. But I remember I remember watching these. I didn't watch the extended cuts until way later, but I remember watching the original ones
So massive.
with my grandpa, and I remember running around messing around. You know, being kids in your imagination, everyone wanted to be Legolas.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Which, side note, I am thrilled that Orlando Bloom and Katy Perry split up. Which, did you know that apparently, I don't know if they still, what their circumstances now, but at some point in time, Orlando Bloom, like, lived in Kentucky. Like in Shelbyville or something.
They had a house. They had a house
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if he still does or not, but.
No, it was their house, like, together.
Yeah, that's why I don't know if he kept it or if they sold it whenever they split.
But,
now.
yeah. I was gonna say, like, back then everybody wanted to be Legolas. Nowadays, I just want to be Gimli.
Right? Oh, yeah. Give me an axe. Give me an axe.
Give me an axe. Let me be salty about everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're getting all to Chase's age. Gonna be
Yeah, well, because
really
like that was the crazy part about the movies, and it's like the best part because like you've watched Lord of the Rings first, and then when you watch The Hobbit, you don't realize the characters that were in The Hobbit that were in Lord of the Rings that you just never knew.
Well, and that's how I remember after we got out of those movies, like always, stand outside by the car. I had to smoke, and then you had to fill me in on all the lore stuff. And
yeah, well, because remember I told you like when they went into the Mines of Moria, I was like, "This is who that is," and you were like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, because I think I remember seeing Lord of the Rings when I was younger, and everything. But then I think we rewatched it at some point. But
I was gonna say now that we've kind of got into what our favorite ones are, and we kind of knew that was gonna be the bulk of them.
Oh yeah.
So going into a couple of ones, it looks like you actually kind of have them by like the dates of the original. Like some, I'm honestly not gonna have anything to say about.
No,
so
and some of these will be, but these are So we talked about our favorites, but some kind of iconic trilogies. The next one that comes to mind that we have kind of listed down here, but Back to the Future.
I think Back to the Future was. Yeah, I remember watching those.
Outstanding. I mean,
well, and it's funny too because I believe part 2 was actually done like it was supposed to be in 2025, I think, or 2022 or something like that, and it's like nowhere near what the movie said. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, I don't remember which one it is, but it was like a year or two ago. Like, it was supposed to be what we were doing. It was like hoverboards and hover cars, and it's like
it was. It was 2015 that they went to, which is insane. That was in the second one, and then I think it was the third one where they did the whole Western thing. But yeah, because the first Back to the Future came out in 1985, and then the part 2 came out in 1989, the year I was born. Okay, so I wasn't, just getting that clarified.
What'd you say?
1989. Okay.
Oh, okay.
You don't need to play some old music or anything like that. And then 1990 was part 3.
I don't have anything in my that old in my.
But obviously the whole thing
I
with
was going to show you this.
the whole thing with Back to the Future is all the nostalgia, which obviously we talk about and
Where is
revel on all the time. But like the thing is, the first movie, like traveled back from 85 to 55. So the nostalgia, obviously, we don't feel the nostalgia for 55 or anything like that. It's the 80s and the 90s that give us the nostalgic feel, or at least me, since
Mainly the 90s.
yeah. But what's messed up is if they did a remake, which I hope they never do, but if they did a remake of Back to the Future today, they would be going back to 1996. Which is
That's
absolutely insane to think about. Like, absolutely insane. Because, like, if I will say I don't want them to remake Back to the Future, I really don't, but I also really do. Because I obviously
I don't think they could, because you can't replace the professor. Like, that was, he was the best. You can't put an actor in that spot.
So, I don't know how, I knew these were up there. I didn't know they were this high. This is correct. Do you know that Nike made the Marty McFly shoes from Back to the Future? They're called the Nike Mag Back to the Futures.
Yeah.
Do you know how much they go for?
Oh, I bet they're like $50,000 or something crazy.
20 grand.
That's insane to me.
But like these shoes, even like you hit the button and they like tighten like around and like they do everything that was
like in the movie.
So
yeah, I've seen videos of them do it.
Yeah, but I didn't know they were $20K until I looked at it like recently.
I mean, that's not far off from a shoe though. Like when you get into the shoe collections.
No, there are some shoes like that are insane. Like I
like stupid insane for some rubber.
I would never in my life spend $20K on a shoe, but
hell
I would spend $20K on other things, but I would not spend it on that.
No,
but I think. So moving on from Back to the Future, though, like the next one, and y'all probably have more than me, but Indiana Jones.
Oh God, Indiana Jones.
So
that's
these came out. I mean, you were born in '91, so these came out 10 years before you. So
yeah.
So if you take Raiders, is Raiders the one? And I don't know if you'll know this answer.
Raiders is the one he went after the.
Is that the one when the big boulders?
That's when the boulder chases him, I think.
So you know they do that at
Universal,
the stunt track. No, it's at Disney.
Oh, is it Disney? Well,
Disney.
Yeah, because my when I was younger, we my aunt, uncle, my cousins from Ohio, everybody, we got like an entire caravan. It was like 6 rental vans, and we all went to Disney. And I saw that live show because it did The Rock. It did where they were getting away on the plane.
Yep, and it showed.
Yeah.
So that show is still going on, which I don't remember if it was Disney.
Is it really? Man, that is.
So I don't remember because me and Becca watched it like 2 years ago. Now they've changed a few things, not a lot,
but still, for it to still be going now, or even 2 years ago.
Here recently, somebody got hurt on it because the boulder.
I saw something on TikTok, like the boulder got stuck.
Yeah, something happened and it like came out like towards the crowd, and somebody tried to stop it and stuff like that. Like, it was crazy.
And it was like the reason it looks like it's a fake, and it is a fake, but the
really
weight
heavy.
of the fake, the guy thought it was like just a legit fake, like piece of
like
not turf, but kind of like something soft, like a squishy stress ball or something. No, it's a solid mass. That's why they had that escape route for the actor in case he couldn't get out of the way.
I wonder when. I'm going to look it up. I wonder when that. Because
I think he broke his arms, like both arms.
He broke something. So did you watch? I'm assuming, obviously you weren't even born when these came out. When do you remember watching these?
It just been.
I always forget these are Steven Spielberg.
It would have only been like stuff like that when it come out before I was born. Is if like my parents just happened to be having like a movie night
y'all had that
with
closet.
Some friends.
Y'all had that closet.
But I mean,
that have
if
everything
I
in
just
it.
walked in the living room from being tired, or I got up out of bed and my parents were having a movie night and it wasn't a bad movie, they would just let me
So,
sit in there with them and watch it.
which we're going to talk about this other one too here in a minute. But like, so technically, like this was the original trilogy of it. They came out with a fourth one recently.
Yeah, I saw where they like had redone some of it and
I don't
brought
know if
back
it's a
some of the old
redone. I think
actors.
well, Harrison Ford was in it.
Not a
Is that who it
full
is?
redone, but it was like they re-met, and yeah, Harrison
Yeah.
Ford was in it. I think they even got the original kid because they hadn't
Oh, I
talked to
didn't
each
know
other in
that.
so long, and it was like a reunion of them hugging. I saw it.
Well,
I think on TikTok. Somebody caught a video of it.
I think that this is something too. Like we talked about it recently on one of the couple episodes about the about Tomb Raider. So this was way before Tomb Raider. This is what made Tomb Raider. Like they
Is Tomb
like, in
Raider a
my opinion.
trilogy? Did it have 3 movies? I thought it did.
I don't know.
I think that might be a
No, I think it
trilogy.
only
I
had
think they
two.
had 3.
I think it only had two, right?
I
Tomb
thought it
Raider.
only had 2 because I remember the first one. She lost her dad. Second one, she went and she had to fight those statues
So it
because
had.
the dude was like trying to.
I know there was two. I don't think it was. It might have been a trilogy. I could be
You know
wrong.
what? I'm probably thinking of the 2, and then I'm thinking of that new one they did with the girl
Yeah,
from Game of Thrones.
No, so that's coming out. They did make another one in a couple episodes ago. We were talking about this. They made another
Or she
one.
looked like
and
the
tried to
girl from Game of
recreate it.
Thrones, and
Yeah.
I always confuse that because when they look like an actress or an actor, I always think it's them.
So, and I mean, this is definitely like, I mean, Last Crusade, if I remember right, is the one that everyone says that was the best for everything, and that was the one that. See, this is another one. Like, even we'll go ahead and go on to the next one. Godfather. Like, did you watch the Godfather movies? Holy cow! I didn't realize there was that much
No,
of a difference in time frame.
Out of all of them, I wasn't really into the whole mobster kind of ones, so I'll be honest, I never even watched any of the Godfathers.
Yeah, see, I didn't either. But I know
they
that
just never interested me.
now I've seen parts of them. Like, I remember seeing parts of these movies, like walk through.
Oh yeah, if I walked through like
From or
to
something
go
like
to the
that.
bathroom from my room from playing PlayStation or something, my parents might have been watching something like that.
But
But
that's what's crazy. So, like, the first two came out in 2 years apart, and then the third one didn't come out until 1990.
oh, so
That's
a year before I was
crazy.
born.
Yeah. So, but I'm saying, like, even that, like, that's 16 years apart. Like,
Yeah.
to do that,
Well,
like, if you
it's
bring
almost
that
like the
up-
Dumb and Dumber, where it was such a great movie, and then they just decided, let's run it back. And how many years ago?
Yeah.
How many years later was that?
So I don't know. Like, I don't know much about Godfather, but like the.
I'd like to say I don't either because
I didn't watch that at all. I just know
I
that
didn't
it's
refuse
widely
to
one
watch
of
it,
the
but I had
better
no
ones.
interest in the Godfathers.
Well, that's what's always blown my mind. Like, it is widely seen as like one of the best of all time.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
I've never seen any of the Godfathers, to be honest. Like, I listed them because I
Yeah.
feel like you have to.
It's one of those ones where you're like, yeah, I've never seen that, and somebody's like, what?
So, but now that we've already talked about Indiana Jones, and we've already talked about Godfather. So the next one we're going to talk about is the Spider-Man trilogy, the original.
Man. Sam
Spider-Man
Raimi's
trilogy.
Spider-Man. Now,
Man.
I feel like so.
And I'm pretty sure this is the one, if I remember right. Didn't Wayne have a hot take or didn't Wayne say this was his favorite Spider-Man?
I think he said. I think his hot take was he said Spider-Man 3. I think, which
Maybe.
Yeah.
Which of this
I
trilogy?
remember in that previous episode when we were talking about Spider-Man, yeah.
Yeah, which of this trilogy, Spider-Man 3?
It was in the MCU episode.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
now I can't remember what his take was.
but I think it was that Spider-Man 3 was his favorite, which is probably the weakest of the three. Spider-Man 2 is the best of this trilogy.
Well, I remember if we
I
went
thought
back,
maybe
he had
no,
a reason,
I know,
and we were like,
remember
okay, I
this
see
being
it.
his. I'm pretty sure that this was his Spider-Man.
Well, and that's fine. Like, that's why I don't. If it was a hot take, if he would have said Spider-Man or Spider-Man 2, that would have been fine. But Spider-Man 3, if this was something he said that was a hot take, it probably would have been about 3.
Yeah.
I don't remember it to a T. It was a hot take because he said 3, but then he had a reason behind it that made everybody go, okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
But
Maybe that's what it was.
But now my question is: so 2002, 2004, 2007, did you all see any of these in theaters, or do I need to?
every single one of them. Like,
Okay.
no, anything Marvel or DC, any superhero.
I'm pretty sure 3.
My Uncle Russ
I went with you and
picked
Uncle
me
Russ.
up, and we
He would take
went
you to see it.
and we seen anything Marvel or DC, anything.
I'm
If it was
pretty
a
sure
superhero.
2007, because I watched, whenever we really started hanging out a lot, I remember going to a couple of these with you. I just don't remember which ones.
Well, and ultimately, Raimi's, I mean, obviously it's Tobey Maguire, who played
Well-
Spider-Man, and he's back, now,
Yeah.
spoiler alert, but it's been
Well,
long
and-
enough.
By the way, the 2007, I'm pretty positive Preston would have been open by then.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Well, and I hate that I can't find out.
Because that's where we started going. I started
Yes,
going to see like the Wolverine movies and stuff. Logan.
Well, if it's any perspective, The Girl Next Door movie came out in 2004, and I saw that in theaters in Preston. So it had to have been like 2003 or 2004 when that theater opened.
Yeah, because it was a smaller theater, and then they got bought out and made into the big theater that it is.
Yeah. But ultimately, this movie, it walked so the MCU could run, like, essentially. I mean, you could also say the same about X-Men and all of that, but the fact that Toby is in the MCU now and all of that just kind of proves it.
Well, that's the thing. When those started coming out, they weren't even really building the MC universe.
No,
I mean, they were,
no.
but it was like everything separate, not to where it is today, where they're actually building a cohesive universe.
Yeah, so when I say they walked so the MCU could run,
Well-
superhero stuff was kind of just sporadic, and they weren't these massive blockbusters. But
Yeah.
Spider-Man blew up. Like,
Yeah, Spider-Man was great. That's why I was so upset when they keep revamping Spider-Man, because every time they do it, they're always trying to tell the origin story.
Well, at
like,
least-
oh, well, we messed up on these other ones. Don't pay
Well,
attention to
and,
those. Check this one
there's
out.
some
And I'm
of them
like,
too,
man,
like-
Spider-Man's too good to do that. Don't do that.
Like, technically talking about this too, like, so in my opinion, going back to how we talked, and there's a couple of them we've already said it with, like, Star Wars technically has 3 trilogies, and we made me and Scott were, when we alluded to it, Scott, remember we were talking about it just a few minutes ago about Indiana Jones. Technically, Indiana Jones has a 4th movie,
Yeah.
and then we were. If you think about it, Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Man, technically is a trilogy. And if I remember right, didn't they sign for a 2nd trilogy with the new set?
Well, so you're right, because you have Homecoming, Far From Home, and No Way Home. And my understanding, yes, is what you just said, that there's supposed to be another trilogy with Brand New Day.
So it's the same aspect.
It is supposed to be, because my understanding is once those 3 are done, it's a wrap for Tom Holland. And apparently they can't do live action Miles until the 3rd Spider-Verse movie, which that's going to be another trilogy, because, and those are amazing. But they can't get a live action Miles until they finish the 3rd animated one. So there's all that going on, But but obviously Garfield didn't get a 3rd, so that one's not a trilogy. That's why Raimi's is such an iconic, it was a 3 and done, kind of thing. Well, similar to Indiana Jones, in the sense that it had a iconic trilogy and then a 4th one come out. This next trilogy is kind of like that too, but The Matrix. So The Matrix was directed by the Wachowskis. You had The Matrix in '99, Reloaded. And now I will say this shocked me. Reloaded came out at the beginning of 2023, and Revolutions came out at the end of 2023. It apparently was like they did with Lord of the Rings, where they filmed them back to back. Let's see, I need to actually verify again, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they both came out in 2003 because they had filmed them together, and But
I'm telling you, I like that. I like that model a lot.
100%. And I mean, the Matrix movies, so they did a 4th, okay, that came out like a year or 2 years ago. And again, I enjoy everything, but I mean, it was fine for what it was, but it's kind of like with that whole Indiana Jones thing. Like, they came out with a 4th one, but it's widely seen as like not very good.
Oh, okay, that threw me off. I know what you meant, but I guess you were looking at something because you had said 2023, and I was like, "There's no way he just read 2023."
2003. My bad.
I was like, "Oh my god! I know I'm not that
Yeah.
crazy."
But
No, I think
No,
I think
and-
the fourth one may have come out in 23 or earlier.
2021,
2021.
Hey,
Okay.
which apparently they're working on a fifth one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well,
So
so out of curiosity,
the games were cool though.
we were talking. You didn't chime in earlier, but was Angelina Jolie's Tomb Raider? Was it a trilogy or was it only 2?
2.
Okay, so we were.
So I was thinking of that new one that they did with the younger girl.
Well, that one was supposed to be a trilogy because it was supposed to marry the Survivor trilogy games. But
Yeah.
it apparently did not do well. So
I didn't think it was as bad. I told Chase this. I watched that one.
I thought it was all right.
I watched it on the plane when we went to Disney. I didn't think it was that bad.
I mean, most of your
Like, it
origin
was
stuff starts
decent.
off slow anyway. So I mean, like
No.
you kind of
Yeah.
expect it.
But
If they're like, "Oh, this is gonna be a trilogy," you're like, "All right, the first one's an
No.
origin, probably."
yeah.
but our next one, going into probably the only animated one on this list, How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah, I tried to think of other animated, but like I couldn't say Toy Story because now there's what 5, 6 of them, however many there are.
God, there's so many Toy Stories.
Yeah, so I couldn't really think of like a legitimate animated trilogies except for How to Train Your Dragon. I mean, I
And
guess
I would know them because of Disney. Well, that's the thing. Toy Story was supposed to be a trilogy, and then they weren't going to do anymore, and they ended up doing 4, which 4 was great. And then we're planning on going next,
I knew you were
probably
going to
next
see it.
week.
Yeah,
Well, next week because we're trying to get everything done with the house and stuff.
Right,
so
right.
next week we're gonna take him to go see him. But How to Train Your Dragon is a fantastic series. Like,
Oh,
it's
man, it
fantastic series.
And yeah, 2010, 2014, 2019. So I mean, 4 and 5 years in between each one. And I know
Well-
they had spin-off like shows and
Mhm.
and stuff like that. But it is like the
Well-
theme. I love the theme. The score to it is like such an
Yeah.
epic, like
Well,
feel good song.
My thing with a lot of the animated movies, I feel like a lot of your animated movies go 2, and 2 never does anywhere near as well as the first one. So, like, technically, if you want to think about it, I believe Lion King had 3 movies because you had Lion King,
I was
Lion King
just
2,
thinking
and
that.
Lion King 1.5. Lion King 1 and Lion King 1.5, fantastic. I don't think Lion King 2 did very well.
Yeah, I was just thinking of that.
And I think Aladdin also had.
It does have. It was because one of them had his dad. I can't remember. Yeah, like
Yeah.
Return of Jafar and like Honor Among Thieves or something.
Which, and actually, believe it or not, some of those that if I think I was reading, I think that's the one that's not on Disney Plus still. Aladdin doesn't have all of them on it.
Really?
Yeah, I think.
Now that's interesting. Well, see, and I think Mulan did it too. So I guess there are other animated trilogies, but just not iconic ones. But
Well, there's
Yeah, so
2
Aladdin
of them
had.
that are my favorite.
which
So
one?
Aladdin had Aladdin, the Return of Jafar, and Aladdin, the King of Thieves.
King of Thieves. Yeah. What? Howie?
Cars had 3 movies.
Cars did. Cars is
And my
more than
all-time
three,
favorite, because Braden loves it so much, is the Despicables. Despicable Me.
but they're still coming out on those.
Yeah,
That's why I
there's-
can't.
yeah,
like-
they're still.
Well,
coming.
no,
Minions
they're
is just
doing
spin-off.
off ones. Like you've got Minions and stuff like that, but that's mainly Minions. Despicable Me with Gru. There's only
I guess
3,
that's
and
true.
the second one's my favorite because it's got the dude from South Park as the main villain.
Which
but
guy
yeah,
from
like-
South Park? The main guy.
You know, I've seen those.
Yeah,
Cars.
the dude that does like Cartman's voice and
Oh.
everything. He's the main bad guy that does all the bubblegum
No.
stuff.
What I'm thinking.
Okay.
What I'm thinking about with Cars is they had the spinoff of they have the spinoff of all the movies or of all the. There's a show.
Yeah, there's the shows, but like
and
if
then
you go
there's the Mater
movies,
show.
and then there's the Mater,
Yeah.
but like
Well, I was thinking of
Despicable Me,
Planes.
they've got Minions movies, but not Despicable Me with
Yeah.
Gru.
I was thinking of Planes. Cars is a very good one, actually.
Yeah.
Cars is fantastic.
Yeah, I forgot about that. No.
So actually, Mav loves Cars. Like Cars 3,
Right?
big guy.
Yeah, I
Big
was just
fan.
thinking of the 2 that Bray loves the most, and he loves Cars.
Well, I
and
didn't
he
even think.
loves
Well, for
Despicable
some
Me.
reason, I thought there was 4 Cars movies.
Well,
for some reason.
and I guess technically we're getting a third Frozen movie, so that'll be a trilogy. As
yeah.
well. But I will say
But the thing with Disney, and I am out of everyone in this podcast right now, I am the biggest advocate for Disney. I loved it. Everyone knows I love Disney. It's
Yes.
what I do. We go. I've already got my trip planned for next year. Like, whatever.
Disney adult. Yep.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, sure, basically. But what I was getting at, Disney's really bad about doing a trilogy. Toy Story is the best example that I have for this. Doing a trilogy and then still going ahead and making another one. It's kind of like we were talking about with Matrix and stuff like that. Like making a fourth one even though there wasn't a need. Do I like the movie? Yes. I do 100%. But
No.
that's kind of
Oh yeah, no,
where we're at.
you are the Disney, yeah. And the thing about How to Train Your Dragon 2 is the live action was absolutely peak, and they are doing a live action of 2 and 3, so we're gonna get another trilogy that way.
Yeah.
Now
This next one's fantastic.
and I'm gonna tell you, we've got 2 comedy trilogies on here. One I brought up earlier, but this one, so Rush Hour. It's a trilogy. It is 3 movies. 1, 2,
Hey,
and
it
3.
is a trilogy, and they are numbered.
Yeah. Rush Hour, Rush Hour 2, Rush Hour 3. And you've got 1998, okay, iconic year we've already discussed, 2001, and then 2007. I mean, Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan are like the ultimate buddy cop. Like the ultimate buddy cop.
It just makes me so sad that Jackie regrets making those movies.
Yeah,
I hate it so much.
I read somewhere that there's one in development.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I feel that a lot of things are coming out of the woodwork that normally wouldn't, and it's a dollars game. You know, people are thriving on people like us and our nostalgia. Whether or not they can get, obviously Chris Tucker would be on board. We have to see if they can get Jackie Chan on board or not. But
well, they did that skit where Chris Tucker was calling him, was like, "Hey man, let's do a fourth," and he's like, "Nah."
No, and the thing is, I've said it on the pod before. I do not think that they could make Rush Hour in true fashion today compared to I've gone back and watched them. I think they're hysterical, but by today's kind of standards, they didn't really age very well.
My favorite thing about that, which you have listed on here, is the bloopers.
Yes.
My favorite one of any of them is Rush Hour 2 when they're throwing everybody out of the window. They do the part where the dude falls and he goes, "Dang! He ain't gonna be in Rush Hour 3."
Yes. Well, that kind of, I mean, DVDs were becoming a thing in '98. I think is when that kind of started. And yeah, like Rush Hour was like known for their bloopers. You know, you had the thing where I think it was Rush Hour. I don't know which Rush Hour it was, but Chris Tucker Jackie kept calling him Chris Tucker kept calling him Jackie instead of Lee. And yeah, and it was a whole thing. And I mean,
there was that, and then it was cool to see him like all the times he messed up because, of course, Jackie does his own stunts. That's widely known. Like he does his own stunts.
90% of the bloopers too is him messing up the stunts.
Yeah, and him. I remember them showing one. It was a blooper, but they showed it, and it wasn't really a blooper. Where I don't remember which one it was, but he jumped on a glass table and went to flip it. Well, when he went to flip it, it hit him in the neck.
Yeah.
And he actually had to go to the hospital for it.
They almost had to send him to the hospital when he was trying to jump through the casino railing where they do the cash out.
Yes,
and he's trying to go through the slip hole.
He got stuck.
And he got stuck and hurt.
Yeah.
I think they said he broke a rib.
Yeah.
Doing that.
I think I remember seeing that. Yeah.
Because he slammed into the bar so hard.
Yeah. I mean, I would love, because I thrive on nostalgia, obviously, so I would love for another one. But I do not, like I said, I've watched those recently, and I think they're hysterical. But I also acknowledge that those kinds of jokes just don't go over. I mean, I'm not saying whether that's right, wrong, or indifferent. It's just kind of how it is.
But I was just going to say, that's Jackie Chan is what made me, love, the other Jackie Chan movies.
Yeah, you're holding that up, but I can't see it.
Pick up where you left off.
It's something
he's watching Trailer Park Boys.
It's Trailer Park Boys. It's just saying, "Hey, come back and watch this," and I'm just like, "I haven't watched that in a minute."
I was gonna say the way these cameras work.
I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, but the Rush Hour, I'm curious to see if they actually do a fourth one. So, but the next one is the one that you referenced earlier.
Yeah, so I brought it up earlier. I would say it's probably not in people's list of their favorite or anything like that, because they're kind of like indie closet movies, but
But
Kevin Smith does a bunch of movies. Like he did Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, he did Dogma, he did Chasing Amy, he did Mallrats, but he did Clerks. The first Clerks came out in '94. And what's interesting is I actually didn't watch it because I don't like watching things in black and white. And it was done in black and white, so I never watched it. But when Clerks 2 came out, I went and saw it in theaters, and I was very excited, so I had to watch the first Clerks. These are also movies that, obviously Clerks 3 came out in 2022, but the humor in these movies is just not something that's...
well, that's what the whole thing with like when Jay and Silent Bob did because Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back came out whenever it came out, and then what was the new one?
They did do a new one.
But it like I thought it was funny, but
that's the thing. Like all the jokes from even back then weren't really as bad. It's just society tells you that they're just that bad. It's just jokes.
Well, and like I said, I'm not going to get into whether that's right, wrong, or indifferent. I agree with what you say. Like some of it is fine in the grand scheme. It's just people are overly sensitive. But there are definitely some jokes that are just dark and probably shouldn't be said. But
there's some dark jokes.
But it's definitely. But the whole reason Clerks came to mind whenever I was putting this list together was because of the constant battle between Lord of the Rings and Star Wars.
Oh yeah. Well, because there was two movies that did that. There was the Clerks ones, and then what was it? Superfans? No, it was the one where it was Star Trek versus Star Wars, and the dude's friend had cancer, and they were going to try to steal the Star Wars movie so he could see the new one before he died. Like that was the whole movie, and they were fighting over Star Trek. And
I didn't think about that. Star Trek doesn't have a trilogy.
I think it was fanboys. No, I know. I'm just saying in the similarity of like them fighting. It's that was a comedy movie.
Yeah,
it had some dark humor in it too because of all the cancer stuff.
But I was gonna say it's not a trilogy, but another show or another movie that was like that came out, Harold and Kumar.
Oh yeah,
man.
Go to White Castle and Escape from Guantanamo Bay. That's only two.
Guantanamo. It's only two.
I do think they're making up. But again, they're pulling on our generation's thrive on nostalgia when they're doing this stuff. And that's the thing with the Clerks movies specifically, the fact that they span over so much time, so 94, 2006, 2022, and you see these characters, and I've gotten to meet Kevin Smith, and
a lot
Jason
of them.
Mewes. Yeah, like I was.
Well, I was gonna say too, like that. It's funny because me and you talk about Akash Singh that we watch all the time on TikTok. Have you seen the clip when he's like, "Hey, what's going on?" It's an Indian. It's an Indian guy, and then there's a bunch of white guys around him, and they say, "Hey, what do you call him? What's his name?" And they said Kumar.
Kumar, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
No, I know exactly what clip you're talking about. It's funny. But no, I when I went to the con in Lexington and stayed at the Hyatt down there, I stepped outside to smoke, and both Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes were outside smoking. Now they weren't smoking cigarettes, but they were outside smoking. And I didn't have a conversation. I just said hi, and then I went back to minding my own business. But it definitely is an iconic comedy, at least in my mind. So,
oh yeah, because like a lot of the new stuff's just not working out today, and they're having to pull on what was successful back then and hope that it's not too over the top and it'll be successful now.
Well, and that's the thing. People complain about remakes and legacy sequels and all of that, but when original content comes out, people don't like it. So it's like, okay, well, you could argue the Top Gun. Top Gun Maverick was a legacy sequel, and obviously it was hugely successful, critically acclaimed, all of the things. But people had that same argument when it came out, like, "Oh, you can't come up with new ideas." But when they do new ideas, people don't like it. So
no one likes it. And then like, as long as the stuff is done right and it hits, it's great. Like you said, Maverick. That was an amazing movie.
Yeah. So I mean,
and you're not getting movies like that, like a jet fighter pilot. You don't see it anywhere. And then one comes out. So what if it was based off the other one?
Yeah.
The continuation.
Well, and I think there's a lot like nowadays, like your first movie's fantastic, and they say like, "Hey, it's going to be a trilogy." Like if it's not, I think the best way to say this. So your first one's good. Your second one usually bombs.
Historically,
Does that make sense?
yeah, no.
Yeah.
Historically, that's the case. I mean, you don't.
And it cancels trilogies a lot.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's talking to Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 1, Amazing Spider-Man 2. Amazing Spider-Man 2 bombed.
Well, yeah.
They scrapped the third one.
Yeah.
Well, and just like we were just talking about Tomb Raider.
Yep.
And then if the second one doesn't bomb, everybody's like, the third one's going to bomb.
Yeah,
they just keep it going.
Well, and then and at that point, if something like John Wick, John Wick is on 4 or 5 or whatever. Like
they're on 4.
I was surprised how they could keep that story going.
Agreed.
And they've done great.
But see, the thing about that is like John Wick, and it's the only movie I can think of that does it that well. So when one ends, 2 begins, and it's literally the last scene from 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a complete continuation.
No,
so that was really cool.
And I believe there's something I saw. I believe it was supposed to be a trilogy, but it has just continued because of the success. So
well, and just like Ballerina, I'm pretty sure Ballerina is supposed to be a trilogy.
Yeah, that maybe, unfortunately, maybe like we just talked about, where the first one doesn't do that well because it was great. I watched it, liked it. I know you said you watched it, and liked it, but it didn't do dollars. So I don't know if they'll actually pick that up or not. But
so.
All right. Well, I think that's going to bring us to the end of our story mode. So let's go ahead and jump into our side quest. We're going to jump into our first one of Now Loading. All right. So Now Loading is our social media trend game segment where we're going to keep 3, cut 3. So we're all 3 going to do this. And essentially one of us are going to be making a list of 6. We're going to keep 3 of them, and we're not talking about individual movies. We're talking about the trilogies as a whole. And then we're going to cut 3. So essentially, whoever goes first, we are going to give 1 at a time, and you're going to rank it. Whether it's going to be 1, 2, and 3, which means you're going to keep it, or 4, 5, and 6, which means those get cut. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Howie, does that make sense?
We'll see when we get there.
All right.
It might make sense now. We'll see if it makes sense when I get to that point.
Well, I will go first in the sense that you all will give me trilogies. So it doesn't have to be just the ones we talked about. Like you may have found one.
Oh, I got one. That's what and I'm surprised we didn't talk about it because this is so fantastic.
Well, hang on. Let me pull up a list of just random ones. That way I've got like some ideas to pull from the ether if I run out.
There you go.
So, all right. So, Scott, we'll do it together. We'll just switch. I'll do a movie.
Okay. Well, let me get my list up and then.
So.
Go ahead and do yours. That way it's not.
Austin Powers.
Oh, damn. I forgot about Austin Powers.
Yeah, baby.
I didn't realize it was a trilogy. For some reason, I thought it was 4. I thought Goldmember was the 4th one, but Goldmember was the 3rd one.
Man.
Goldmember was the 3rd one, yeah.
I forgot about those. I will say I want to keep it high, but I'm going to cut it. So I'm going to put it at 4. So we're going to cut Austin Powers trilogy.
Okay. I was really excited about that one. That was a good one.
I forgot all about that. Oh, you know what? I forgot about another animated trilogy, though. Shrek.
No, Shrek has 4.
Yeah, but they kept going. They're up on Shrek like 6 or 7 now.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't think they're that high, but they are.
No, when I was looking through Disney trilogies, it came up as like Shrek 6.
Oh.
Now, yeah, I don't know if that's like in production or not.
Yeah, because you had Shrek 1, Shrek 2, Shrek 3, and then Shrek the Final Chapter.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And then they're making Shrek 5 that's supposed to come out next year.
Now, Chase, I'm going to give you some. I'm assuming you've seen them. If not, just let me know.
You just give me one because y'all are rotating.
No, I know. We're going back and forth, but I'm just saying I'm picking some that might just be like, but I don't know if you've actually seen them.
Fair enough.
Now, I know you've heard of them.
Fair enough.
The Evil Dead.
Oh, we're cutting that because I don't do horror. I have seen the first one, though, so we're going to put Evil Dead at 6. I still got all my keeps. What? Oh, what'd you say?
Taken.
Damn, I forgot about that one, too. Oh, yeah, we're keeping Taken.
I thought that had a 4th one.
No.
The list I'm looking at, it says it's a trilogy.
It is a trilogy because the first one, obviously, his daughter. The second one, it was
his daughter and wife.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the first one had the best scene
Oh,
out of
dude.
any movie when he said, "Can you read this for me?"
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, when he got in there and he said that, I like gripped my chair, like just waiting for the action because I saw
Man,
that in
I
theaters.
just found another animated series that we didn't do.
I think I'm gonna. Well, I'm gonna keep Taken. I'm gonna put it at 3, but definitely keeping the Taken trilogy.
Chase is really easy because he's seen
Shit.
a lot of movies.
Apparently, Madagascar was a trilogy,
Oh.
It did,
but
it did have 3.
but the first one's the only one that I remember that I was like, okay, this is decent. Because then they did the Penguin spinoffs, and the Penguins were fine.
Right.
Are we doing Marvel trilogies at
You
all?
can do whatever.
As long as it's an actual trilogy, yeah.
Okay. Well, I've got one that
Because Marvel definitely has a couple. Iron Man was a trilogy. Guardians was a
Yeah.
trilogy.
Captain America, I think, was a trilogy.
Yeah. Captain America was a trilogy.
Okay, I'm gonna do this one. It is technically a trilogy. I can give you all 3 movies, but it's not like the Shaun of the Dead series.
So you're talking Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and into the
The World's End is the 3rd one,
yeah.
which a lot of people didn't know those were a series.
Yes. So those are outstanding.
The World Ends is the one with all the celebrities, right?
Yeah. No,
that movie was hilarious.
The World's End, I don't think that you're thinking of the one where all the celebrities play as each other. The World's End is where they go bar hopping.
That's right.
Oh no,
That's right.
And aliens are attacking and stuff.
Okay. I only really liked Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead of those. So
Hot Fuzz was really good.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna, but I don't want to have my only spots left being 2 keeps because you could give me really crappy ones. So we'll keep that. I'm gonna put it at 2. So Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead, and This Is the End or whatever it's called. We'll keep that.
My last one is Hangover.
There's no way I can justify having 2 comedies in my keeps. So
see, that's the thing. I love the Hangover series.
No, so do I, and I would definitely prefer the
that
Hangover.
first one. The first one was fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, it was great.
I would definitely.
We lost Doug.
Yeah, I would definitely prefer the Hangover over the Hot Fuzz and stuff. But there's no way it's gonna go my number 1 spot. So
Dude, when Alan Steady does the Wolfpack thing and he cuts his hand.
Yeah.
Man, this will be a good one, but he's not gonna keep 2 comedies.
Oh no, he's done. He has to keep whatever you give him.
Whatever you give me.
Oh, Oceans.
Hey, okay. So we're talking Oceans 11, 12, and 13. I'm cool with that.
Do you know I've actually not seen those?
Oh, they're
so good. Like, I didn't see them until well, now I guess it's been 5 or 6 years, but Chase kind of turned me on to them because I'd seen some snippets. And because Chase has got me to watch so many movies that I never thought I would, like The Losers. Such a great movie.
Oh, it's so good.
Do you know if they made a 3rd one, I'd watch it as Neighbors?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because they made the first, and that's one of them though. But I feel like the Neighbors movies did fine.
Yeah. But you got to think too. It's not just like how well they do. It's the people that want to invest money into it. That's how they get the scripts and get the movies going and everything. It's got to be, they got to pitch it, and somebody's got to be like, you know what, I'll take a chance on that. They could look and see it successful and be like, I got money somewhere else right now invested. I'm not going to do that. That's the problem with movies in Hollywood.
I guess that's true too. All right, so now Chase, let's do Scott's.
Because look how popular Deadpool was and how many times he had to go talk to people.
That's the one that's technically a trilogy that we never said.
Yep.
Deadpool.
That is a great point. So Howie, that's what we're going to start with. I'm going to give you Deadpool to start off.
I'm keeping that if I'm up.
Yep. You going to do 1, 2, or 3? You got 3 keep slots and 3 cut slots.
Deadpool's too good. I'm gonna put that at 1.
That's fair.
Because even if I have a favorite over Deadpool, Deadpool is just he's too good. He broke the 4th wall and got to my first.
Yeah.
he put himself there. He would too. No matter where I put it, it would go 1. Man, I was almost thinking about giving that one to Chase.
I probably would have cut it, to be honest.
I'll cut that one myself, yeah. Because there's so many trilogies I can think of. It's a good one, but there's only the first one would probably be my all-time favorite, and then the others, it's just
All right. So, and to your point of me seeing a whole lot of movies, so you all could probably come up with anything, and I probably would have seen it. I am trying to be purposely selective for you all because
I've seen some. I've seen a lot of stuff that might not like. You'd think that I'd seen it. So I mean, if you find something, just shout it out. I'll probably either have seen it or seen something in it.
yeah.
It's funny to me though, just real quick, that a lot of these, like, I'm trying to find other trilogies. Like, I'm trying not to use the same ones. A lot of trilogies are older movies.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
Austin, just
Well,
a quick question. The list you're looking at, are you on IMDb?
I've been on both. I've been on a couple
Okay,
different
I'm
ones.
just curious
Yeah.
because I'm like seeing all the ones you named out lined up.
Well, and that's the thing, sometimes I whenever we put these lists together, sometimes I do research. Sometimes it's off the top of my head, and I just want to make sure we have enough.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there's obviously plenty that we missed in our story.
Oh, dude, there's so many trilogies.
This is okay. This is okay.
All right, Blade.
Oh, I was going to use that on Austin. I was hoping nobody would remember that was a trilogy. That's going to go 3.
I wouldn't have been able to give you an answer because I don't think I've ever seen them.
Dude, you are missing out much on Blade.
Not something that, like, if I watched those, that would have been something I watched at your house, and I don't think
And
we ever watched them.
the Blade stuff is the funniest thing because even like in the MCU verse, like the fact that joke of like who was it, Chase? Was it Robert Downey Jr. was the longest running Marvel or
No, Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman, and then when they brought Blade into Deadpool, it busted him out of being the longest running Marvel. Yeah. I was like, man, because nobody thinks of Blade being Marvel, and that's the crazy thing. So yeah, I'd put that 3.
All right, so I don't know if you've seen these. So if you haven't seen these, we'll skip this and go somewhere else. The Girl with series trilogy. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Played with Fire.
Haven't seen them. Heard a lot about them. I would cut that if you gave me the option. Yeah.
Well,
I'm sure it's pretty good. Chase talked to me about it.
We were talking about movies coming out like that they filmed all together. All 3 of those came out in 2009.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because I remember Chase, like we were talking one day when he was outside.
I've seen this one. I've seen
and
it.
He was like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna go see that in theaters." And I was like, "Oh, really?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah,
and it was like the first time I had heard about it.
Yeah, they were good.
So,
okay, we are.
Oh, wait, what do you have left? 1 cut, 1 keep.
He's got 1 cut and 1 keep.
One cut and 1 keep because I've got Blade at 3, Deadpool at 1. I cut Dragon and I cut what was the one you said, Chase?
No, it was Mad Max that Austin said.
Mad Max, which Austin said, yeah.
You've kept both of mine and you've cut both Austin's. Okay, so we're going to go with let's say The Equalizer.
Those were good movies. But you know what, I will say cut because out of all the movies I've ever watched, those were one and dones, and I didn't go back to rewatch them.
That's a good point. I haven't gone back. They were amazing, but I haven't gone back to rewatch them.
Before we do the last one, you want to because it's going to be a keep. You want to know something I want to see be a trilogy, a trilogy.
What?
The Beekeeper.
Oh, I still need to watch that because that came out. Because in the last 5 years, I have not watched as many movies.
Been watching movies like you used to.
I'm super behind on everything in the last 5 years.
So, the original trilogy of this, because they tried to come back with this, Men in Black. So the 3 with Will Smith.
How are you picking all the ones I was going to give you?
Yeah,
that would be a keeper.
That would have been a keeper regardless, I think, though, right?
Yeah. Like, even if I didn't have the keep, I would have wanted to keep that.
Yeah, that one was good.
All right. So, Austin, it's your turn. Howie, do you want to start or do you want me to start?
Yeah, let me make sure this is a trilogy real quick.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and start off with an absolute banger because Howie, you gave me the idea earlier. We're going to go Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, that I would have to keep that. Those are some of my favorite Marvel movies. So like, yeah, I would keep it. I'd probably put it at 2.
Okay, that's the TV show, so I'm good on what I was thinking of doing. Yeah.
All right, you're up, Howie.
Transporter.
Oh, that is a trilogy. I forgot about that.
Because I couldn't remember how many they had done. I knew there was 3, but I could not remember if there was like a secret 4th one that I just never saw.
I've not seen these movies.
Oh, dude, those are some
Oh, you talk about
insane
crazy
movies.
action.
No.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta think, like, the first one came out in 2002, so I was 8 years old.
No, I get it. My uncle Russ introduced me to those. That was
I
my
would've
introduction to Jason Statham.
I can't even remember what I watched Jason Statham. I feel like I've seen some of these, but I can't remember. I would cut it simply because I'd put it at 5 because I don't.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I
if you
don't
haven't seen it, you haven't seen it. But if you've seen it, I think you would have considered maybe keeping it at 3, maybe. I don't know.
I've probably seen the least amount of movies out of everybody.
You should definitely check those out, though, because that series right there is insane, Austin.
Yeah,
like, if you like
action.
GTA driving and just, like, car chases and stuff, best movies.
So.
I'm gonna give you, and I hope that you've seen these. Like, I'm actually gonna be kind of upset if you haven't. But let's go the OG live action Ninja Turtles trilogy.
Oh, that's a keep 3,
Good.
100%.
Good.
The best one is the one. I think it was 3 whenever they go to Japan.
Yeah.
And Ralph tries to stay back and be a samurai full time.
Yep.
Yeah, there's no way I could cut those.
Good.
I couldn't cut those.
Good.
Yeah, I've seen those. I can't tell you how many times.
Oh, agreed. So you've got 1 keep and 2 cuts left.
All right. So I know Austin was pretty big into books, kinda, because there's one trilogy I really want to throw in there, but I know for a fact with the age they are, he's probably not seen them.
Oh, that's fair.
What about Chronicles of Narnia?
So, I actually almost gave that one to Chase a minute ago. I really liked the first one. I was not as big of a fan of the other 2. I've read some of the books.
The first one was great.
So I'm gonna cut it on the fact that I
only liked one out of the 3.
Yeah, like I watched all of them and they were okay, but they were not my favorite movies. So, but I'm gonna put it at 4. So I have 6 and 1 left.
Oh man. Okay. I'm gonna give you. I hate to do 2 Marvel, but I'm gonna give you Iron Man.
There's no way I could cut that. Those movies are fantastic. I would keep it. So Scott, whatever you give me, I'm gonna have to cut, which I hope it's nothing great, but
well, I was thinking of well, that's the thing.
What was the one now that we were there? What was the one you were talking about? Like, you don't know if I've seen it.
The Naked Gun series. The comedy.
Actually, I was looking at that. I think I have seen the 3rd one.
Those are great movies.
So there
Dude, that was peak comedy back in the day.
Yes.
Oh no, yeah, no, I've seen some of these.
Okay, I wasn't sure because those were like you had to have somebody show you those at our age.
It was a Naked Gun.
I wanted to give you Naked Gun, but then when I figured that and I have to give you one that it was going to be a cut, I wasn't expecting Chase to go Iron Man. I was going to say X-Men because there was 3 before they rebooted.
That's true.
And tried to go a different direction.
The bad part is though, if I would have got X-Men before, I actually liked X-Men.
Oh, so
I'm not like.
I loved them. Now the 3rd movie was a little wonky the way they tried to do the story because they were trying to end it and make it to where they could do something else.
Yeah, kill Cyclops and all that shit.
Yeah, the whole government thing that was wonky. They pretty much killed off half the X-Men.
I didn't even think about Wolverine being a trilogy.
Yeah, because Wolverine kind of is too with X2 Origins.
That's what I'm saying. X-Men's Origins, the Wolverine, and Logan.
Yeah.
That's
technically.
because they were trying to just tell Logan's story. Yeah.
Yep. So,
So,
but that does it for this.
Yep, that does it for now loading. Let's go ahead and jump into our final side quest, patch notes. All right, so with patch notes, we go through and talk about kind of what's been going on, what's upcoming as far as episodes are concerned, and that kind of thing. I will say, I mentioned at the start of the episode that we kind of had a surprise, not surprise, but kind of a surprise, coming up. Well, we were able to secure some time for our GOAT debate episode. So we mentioned this, I think, during the last patch notes, but then unfortunately it got kind of derailed because of time and schedule. So the episode that we will have next week is our quad debate episode, or not even debate episode, but kind of Hall of Fame, greatest of all time, and that'll be a quad. So it'll be myself, Austin, Howie will be there, and Wayne will be there as well as we kind of go through. It is going to be a long episode. I can say that with the utmost confidence. And so
Yeah, it's just with everything. Yeah, we have a lot to talk about. It'll probably be.
There's a lot of
It'll be a
opinions,
long
I'm sure.
yeah, so but that's going to be what our next episode is. I do want to acknowledge, because I don't think that I have on our main episodes but the Midnight Reflections episodes that have been coming out, not on a schedule, just kind of randomly. Just note that those are going to continue kind of whenever the idea pops up in my head for those solo reflection episodes. There's 3 of those out right now. One that we talked about in 1998, one that was on Father's Day, and then one about 7/24. But the Midnight Reflection episodes, just want to acknowledge that those are out there. If you have not given those a listen, they're quick 30-minute episodes, just kind of very introspective. Now, looking beyond the GOAT debate episode next week, some of the topics that are on our radar. I will say that we're still looking to kind of garner up some questions from listeners for a Q&A episode. It can be questions related to topics that we've covered. It can be just generalized questions. We've gotten some that have come in through Discord and through email, so I'm just kind of compiling that. That Q&A episode will drop in just whenever it's convenient.
It's more, we're trying to make sure, like, we want to be able to have questions to answer, things like that, which is great for you all to please just give us anything you have. So
yeah, and I mean, like one of the questions that's sitting in an inbox right now is like, if you were on a desert island with Wi-Fi and a TV and you could only play one game for the rest of your life, what would it be? Like those kinds of goofy things. But we want to make sure we have questions to do a whole episode, even if it is just a 30 or 45-minute thing. But that will be one of the topics that's on the radar. In a few weeks, we're going to be looking back at kind of the game-centric. We're going to continue with the same kind of rotation. You notice how we do like game-centric, movie-centric, nostalgia-centric. That whole thing is going to continue. So we are going to go down a nostalgic rabbit hole of kind of old cheat codes, rumors, things like that. Then we are going to also revisit kind of some legendary childhood debates. Dragon Ball versus Naruto, Pokemon versus Digimon, Pepsi versus Coke, that kind of thing. So just kind of a general nostalgia rabbit hole.
Pepsi for life.
What?
You're wrong.
What?
Pepsi for life, bro.
Yeah, no, you're outnumbered here because we're both Coke people.
You can outnumber me all you want. I've got the comment section on my side.
I will never forget. Coke. Dude, you literally open a Pepsi and it's already flat.
Yeah, exactly.
You wish.
Yeah,
you wish.
The best part is whenever I remember when he worked for Coke and wasn't supposed to be drinking Pepsi.
Yep, I remember that too. But yeah, so general childhood debates. Then we will go back to movie centric, kind of talk about some peak cinematic throwbacks. Talking about great movies in the VHS kind of DVD era. So we'll really focus inevitably based on the movies that we've watched. It's probably going to be a whole lot of revisiting of old action movies. But in general, that's kind of a nostalgic film rabbit hole. Austin and I will go through and talk about our backlog. I feel that we have accumulated enough things in our backlog, and there are enough upcoming just amazing games that
Chase been doing way better with it than I have. I'm gonna be honest.
They
I've
just keep
been.
adding to it. People don't listen to them. They just keep
Well,
I
going up.
know.
I stopped working. And once I stop working as much, then I decide to move, and it's a whole nother thing that fills it, and it just makes it worse.
Yeah.
It's simple.
So, but no, we're going to go through and talk about that. Then we will have another kind of general nostalgia about when weekends hit different. We are going to have another anime episode that is all things Dragon Ball. Now, Howie, I can't remember if I told you this or not, but that is one that we want to try and lock you back in for a trio on. It is going to be all Dragon Ball focus.
I'm always down.
Yeah, so that way, we had the one that was on general anime, and we talked about a bunch of different anime, but we're going to do one that's solely around Dragon Ball. And don't be surprised if that becomes a theme going forward as well. Like we might have one that's solely Naruto. We might have one that's solely a certain game series.
Buckle in, because I'll have all the hot takes on those.
Oh, I'm sure.
Could you imagine if we had a God of War focused episode?
We could, is the thing.
But that's what we're getting at. Like, just something different, just to kind of, like, we still, like, as much as we do enjoy talking about nostalgia, there's things that we have to kind of go back and forth, and we try to link in a little bit and go.
Well, there's only so much time you can talk about something, but if you have a episode on a singular thing, you can really dig into it.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. We're also going to look at something that's Disney focused. Something that looks at summer blockbusters. So that's just kind of what we have on the radar for the next several weeks. Obviously, I just rattled off like 7 or 8 different things that you can that you can expect. Also, to Austin's point, in the event that something comes up game related, as far as like big announcements or anything like that, like a summer.
We will probably do.
We will likely interject that into one of these episodes.
Kind of like we did with like the Game Fest, Summer Game Fest, and stuff like that.
So the same thing.
And Pokemon, like if there is a announcement of some sort, like there might be do something with Pokemon coming out next year, probably Wind Waves. I think they said was slated for 27. So if they come out at the end of the year and it's huge, like for instance, we're still a ways away. When the Game Awards come around this year, we're gonna kind of do the same thing that we did last year, where we'll do what we think should win or shouldn't win, blah,
and then recap,
so on and so forth. Yep. And then the episode after, where if you remember the episode after the Game Awards, we focused heavily on like the announcements and stuff like that. That's kind of something we will do again.
Exactly. And now that I'm noodling on it, the Q&A episode idea, likely what we'll do is leave that on the back burner until we get to our 1-year anniversary, which is going to be the end of October. Because these episodes get us kind of close to that. So that's likely what we'll do for our 1-year episode is a general Q&A. Maybe we'll have somebody else entirely come on and moderate it for us or something crazy. Who knows? But that's going to do it for patch notes. So let's go ahead and wrap things up as we head into our save point. Well,
Scott, usually when Scott guest stars, he makes some crazy sound right as we get to our save point.
Right.
He didn't do it today.
Like as soon as I say it, he makes some kind of woo or something.
Yeah, remember we kept it in that one. Yeah,
I didn't.
We kept it in.
I didn't even put the sound overlay. I just left what Howie did on there. So here, let's try this. Let's try this again, Howie. We're gonna head into our save point.
Boop.
Thank you.
There we go. There's something.
All right. But yeah, so Howie, thank you for tagging along today. It trio episodes tend to be a little longer than some of our other ones, so we did go through and talk about a lot of different things, movie trilogy wise. And actually, during our side quest, realized how many trilogies we didn't talk about.
Yeah, there was a lot that we didn't talk about. Like, I didn't even think about Austin Powers, but I've seen all of those more of the time.
Or Blade.
The Hangover.
Or the Marvel
Taken
ones.
is the one that I think surprises me.
That's the thing. There's just so many. You just can't think of them all.
I think I'm going to watch
Well, Taken, and there's some that I don't know if I even consider trilogies anymore. Like, we brought up Toy Story. Toy Story's on 5, but technically the first 3 are a trilogy. Yeah. So, like, people still consider it a trilogy.
Yeah. Which, I mean, any trilogy can get taken out of the trilogy category because all they got to do is be like, oh, you know what? Let's make another one.
Exactly. Right. But yeah, as always, it was a good time. It's always nice to have trio or quad episodes. Remember, of course, you can get to us on social media. You can reach out in the email, themidnightreleasepod@gmail.com. Don't forget Discord. To the point of questions, if you join Discord, you can drop the questions in there or you can email them to us. But yeah, it was a good time. Thank you again very much, and Howie, thank you for tagging along. Remember, next week is going to be extra long. It's going to be our GOAT Hall of Fame kind of debate episode. It'll be a quad, and then we'll keep trucking through our patch notes list. Austin, did I miss anything?
Not that I know of.
All right, Howie.
I think you're pretty set on everything, and we're good to go. Which Howie will be on again next week. So
Yeah, because that'll be a quad. But yeah, as soon as I said Howie, your eyes were like huge. Like look at the camera. Like,
Oh
what the hell
yeah,
did I do?
Austin. I think did we mention his age this episode?
Oh, I have like 5 times.
Oh, okay. I'll just make sure.
Remember,
Yeah, okay.
everyone, that some memories are worth lining up for.